Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So this is going to be a little bit of a follow-up video to my last Reclaimer video. If you have not watched that yet, please do. It's in the description down below. But we talked a lot about the Reclaimer and like ideas and stuff, and I asked you guys, hey, throw me some ideas out there, what you think would make an easy fix for this to make it a lot more useful, and we had some good comments, and I'm actually going to end up sharing some of those comments with you here in just a minute or so. But one thing I want to start this video out with is asking you guys one more question, because I did not see this anywhere in the comments and we didn't discuss it or talk about it. The drone room. What do we think the drone room is going to be for the Reclaimer? Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you that drone room and then let's talk about it. Okay guys, we are here on the habitation deck on the Reclaimer, and so this would be the elevator right here that goes to the bridge. And then, this right here would go up to your size 5, manned turret. And then here's your gravitational generator. But right when you step off that elevator, right here at the main thing, you're going to see the drone room. And that's kind of the question, right? Is they have this kind of cool room, like, set up. And you can actually come in here, and it looks like where you may be able to service them or do something different in here. I imagine this room is mostly going to be just for looks, even though you can access it where you'll be able to see the drone maybe exit the ship or something like that. But this right here shows me that these may be like remote operated drones, right? So you're probably going to be in, there's two seats right here. You can see them jumping between the two. There's probably going to be the ability to do 2 drones at a time. The question is, what are these drones going to be used for? I always thought they were going to be used for as like remote tractor beams, so somebody can pilot these drones, they can go out and do the drones and grab pieces of material, bring it back in front of the claw to be able to munch and things like that, or to be able to scrape. So you'll have these like kind of just basically remote tractor beams, and I think that would have been a cool idea and something that they could probably do, something that's very functional. But what do you guys think? What are they going to be used for exactly? I always thought that maybe like automated, where they just automatically go out and bring stuff like closer to the front of the ship or something like that. But I think manned remote probably makes a little bit more sense these days with the way kind of the development of Star Citizen is going. But that's my question for you guys. Please leave comments below. Let me know what you think about these drones. I'd love to know what you think they're actually going to be used for, or some ideas of what they could be used for. So real fast, I do want to keep this video a little bit shorter, but I want to go through these comments. I want to talk about like the ideas that we have to actually make this ship functional faster, and there's actually some good ones. So maybe hey, who knows? Maybe somebody from CIG will actually kind of implement one of these things. It'd be pretty cool if they did. But let's jump outside the ship and let's talk about it. Alright guys, we are outside the ship here. I want to read a few of these comments and these ideas. So let's start with the first one I got. I think it's a really good one, and maybe it could be a short-term fix, but I could also see it being a pretty cool long-term fix as well. But this is what this person says. If you look at the rear underbelly, you see rails that lead down from the rear chute. Seems like it might be something for 16 SU containers to travel along and be accessible for other party members to pull off, similar to the Fortune. And I think we might have actually mentioned that in the last video, I'm not sure, but yes, if you look right here, there are these rail type things underneath. And it looks like you could probably easily fit anywhere from like 2 to 4 16 SU containers, probably 4 16 SU containers here. But can you imagine if we had an option on the screen for the salvage machine where you could select where you want it to go, and you could select the 16 SU container and have it just go to this particular grid so that they automatically populate to the outside of the grid. That way you wouldn't have to change any of the art, inside. It'd be more of a mechanical type gameplay thing where, I mean, just like in the Fortune where the boxes just kind of pop in, and I think that would be a cool thing. So as soon as they're finished being processed, you click the button for 16 and they populate on this rail, and you could do like maybe, anywhere from like 2 to 16 SU containers, and your party members could grab this, throw it on a raft or whatever, and off you go. I think that would be a really cool fix, possibly a short/long-term fix to make this a little bit more functional for right now. What do you guys think about that? I mean, it's kind of like the design is already kind of there. They just need to make it, like mechanically function. So let's go on to the next one. Okay guys, so on this next comment, it says all they have to do is move the printing machines to each sides of the elevator and remove the back hatch and put a large flush splash door there instead. Easy peasy. Yeah, well, we wish it was all easy peasy, and you know, we'll never really know if something like that is easy or not, but you know, you can see right here where there could be like a large door, and there's a couple of comments that actually talk about this, but moving the actual machines like more to the front near the elevator and just opening up this section a little bit more, maybe even combining those decks or whatnot, would be a very cool thing. But I think because it's inside the ship and stuff, that's a lot of probably clashing in current and old art designs. And I think that's where, like, when he talked about it in the video, my last video where I posted where he was talking about it, I think that's where the issues start to come into play when you're trying to combine the two different styles or two different technologies that they're using now, since they're kind of changing the way they do ships. But yeah, very interesting thought there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, so this next person says, all they need to do is combine the salvage processing and salvage storage areas to increase the grid storage area and turn the whatever that non-functional elevator type thing is on the back door or chute to make offloading easier. They also need to allow us to make 32 SCU containers and grant the ability to craft max tractor beams. So yes, I kind of agree with the 32s right now with the way the ship functions. There was no way to get the 32s out, so that was a bust. That's probably why they stuck to 16s. I imagine they really wanted to do 32s at some point. I think the ship is big enough for it, but they would definitely need a larger space to do that. So I think, like we said, I think one of the best ideas, and I'm going to tell you what my just straight idea is to kind of like make it probably the easiest one ever, is honestly, guys, if they will remove, and I think we have a comment coming up, if they remove the chute, if they just leave this to where it's open, where you hit a button and this just opens, and they just remove this little elevator, that would literally be the fastest short-term fix period right now. And I don't think there's any, I mean, you're only removing something, so you're not like trying to do art styles or anything, and you could literally just drop these out at the box, so they would either fall to the ground right here if you're in your hangar, or they fall out in space where a buddy can snag them, and that would completely change the gameplay of the Reclaimer. And talk about time to speed up. Yeah, you can glitch them out the back, but you know, sometimes they get stuck and you have to deal with that, and it just, if they would just remove that little elevator, it problem solved on that, right? I think that for me, that is the #1 fix for this. But let's check out a couple extra comments before we get out of here. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a longer one. This person says, logically, the forward cargo bay that is under the grinding room should be the location for the salvage process to be. So the cargo boxes could be created forward of the main elevator, then they would flow back to the elevator, which would have larger doors to be able to actually move the boxes through. Just really want to comment on that first section right there, because like if we already have so much time sink with box moving simulator, right? And the last thing I want to have to do is like spit these things out and move them through a door or through an elevator. Like if the elevator was gone or something, this center elevator right here, if it was gone, I think it would be okay. But just moving these through this and then up into a grid, I just think it would be a super large time sink. And not to mention a complete redesign of the ship. So maybe something long term, they can just redesign the whole layout under here. But as far as right now, that would be like a super long term fix, and I don't ever see them like moving where the processing center actually is. But that's just kind of like my 2 cents on that one. Okay, let's go to one more comment here. So to finish this off, I did want to share this last comment with you. This guy is exactly right in line with what I thought would be the best and fastest fix. It says, if there was one thing that should be changed, is the poop chute. Hilarious, right? The back of the ship looks like a giant door. Either have that open, giving you plenty of room to throw out your crates out, or move the little ramp where the boxes fall and get stuck on out of the way. So it's super simple. So like right back here on the back of the Reclaimer, we have this big open spot. Like if they did away with this and just made this as a big like airlock to throw boxes out, I think that would be really cool and kind of really in line. It'd be kind of like I'd call that like a short to midterm like fix for this ship for sure, without redesigning everything. But I mean, guys, hands down, the fastest fix that they could do to help us would be if this elevator that comes down, this little elevator where they get stuck, if they just remove the actual thing that drops down and just makes this open, I mean, for me, that would solve a lot of my issues. Just being able to kick those things out the back. I mean, the 16SU, I mean, everything will just fall right out and not get stuck and not get glitched. And I can't imagine how hard that is just to remove that. Maybe it's, you know, I'm not a game developer, obviously, but it seems like it's something that they could maybe be able to do. A lot of people will talk about just make it drop down like another, you know, 2 or 3 feet. So that we can like grab them off, and that way the 16 boxes won't get stuck. You can just yank them out. But for me, I'd rather just see it go away for right now until they can actually redesign the ship. But guys, that's it on the comments. So last thing here I wanted to share with you guys, I did have the original kind of trailer or advertisement for the Reclaimer. I think this is back in like 3.1. It's pretty cool to watch again, to see how they did everything, to see how far they've come making their, you know, they spent so much time in marketing and stuff. And oh my god, I would love to see them like kind of redo the video for the Reclaimer now with kind of new technology and stuff like that, with how they maybe want it to function. But again, guys, that's it. I'm going to leave you with that video. My last comment's going to be, please leave some comments for me on how you think the drone thing is going to work. I'd love to hear some ideas about that. Maybe I'll do some posts on Spectrum about the Reclaimer and see if we can get some discussion going there about it and share the video or whatnot. But yeah, let me know what you think. As always, guys, thank you so much for the support. Enjoy the trailer here at the end. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.